Hey guys, it's Cam315 and I'm back at it with another video, guys, for you guys, and this is a My Hero Academia review for you guys, and oh my goodness. I have no words. TheRedWolf here, like I said, is accompanying me. Now that we figured out how to be able to record from long distances, we're good to go. But anyways, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. One, I got 3 points. I got 3 points to make. One, whatever that Lemillion Mario episode was, got outshafted by this episode. Right now, I don't know right now, but on Twitter, the hashtag Deku is trending. Last time I checked, it's number 2 worldwide. That's the number 2 worldwide trend. One, that's another reason why this episode's big. 2, I don't care what anybody says. Best, as of this moment right now, this is the best My Hero Academia episode from the entire anime series.
No arguments here.
So, the first time All Might uses 100% on the Nomu, no. The Deku Todoroki versus and Ida versus what is it? Stain fight? No. Trying to remember any other important parts. Deku using 100% against Muscular. No. The only thing that could come somewhat close where people can throw either back and forth, but in my opinion, after seeing this episode, I think it's better than this moment. The All Might versus All for One fight. I thought this episode was better than the entire fight as a whole. Well, I guess the episode moment of really, regardless, this is the best episode of My Hero Academia. I don't see so far to this point. Nothing counters it. Nothing counters it. And then 3, don't sleep on my boy Deku. Don't sleep on my guy Deku.
Oh my god. Well, these are past. Well, no. You're right, Cameron. He went 100%. You were right.
We're going to give a review of this episode, and we're going to talk about the plot points and stuff like that, but my goodness, this episode was amazing. Now, for the past couple of weeks, people were complaining about the animation of the last 2 episodes. One, that's because the animators were focusing on the movie that is coming. We're focusing on the movie that was coming out around the time in Japan. And that's why the animation didn't, or what I would say looks subpar, didn't exceed what people thought. This episode here, they put it all their chips worth in this animation. This was like when they put when Dragon Ball Super put all their money into the Goku versus Jiren matches, especially in the tail end of the Tournament of Power. This was like 2-3 weeks ago, when Luffy fought Kaido. And that animation was flames. Albeit people were still upset about the episodes regardless because of plots or something like that.
Bring One Piece into this.
This episode, oh my goodness. The animation on some of these shots. My thumbnail, I was first going to just take a picture like I did last week for my thumbnail and then put an image from the episode. No, my thumbnail is going to be that one shot when Overhaul looked over his head and then you see Deku in black about to punch him and all you see is white eyes, a white border. And I was like, I saw that. I got hyped. Literally, when it comes to the Deku versus Overhaul fight, you can pick out any image from this fight and it's memorable.
Mm-hmm.
The moments in this episode were amazing. Very emotional moments, especially that. But well, we'll get to that. We're gonna get to the review now. But anyways, I'm accompanied here by the Red Wolf. So anyways, we're gonna give a rundown of the episode. So episode My Hero Academia season 4, episode 13. Um, Infinite 100%. I don't think you can ever forget a title like that. And sure as hell, it was infinite. Um, anyways, the episode starts off with basically, the Ryuku, Nejire, Froppy, and Uraka storyline with what happened there. Now we didn't see the full fight of what happened was up there because everything we were going through was literally in the base. Um, but they had basically won the fight, tied him up, and they were basically like, make sure he doesn't do anything. Basically, his quirk, the big muscular dude's quirk is he steals the life force out of people, essentially. And he eventually breaks out because he used one of those boosted quirk drugs again, and he started taking literally almost everybody except I think um, Ryuku's Dragon Hero Ryuku's life force. So Uraka, Ochako, Froppy, and Nejire, they're all tapped out, and then they can't even stand at this point. So he breaks out. Nejire actually does something, and we find out her quirk, and basically she makes these like electric waves based off her life force. So she it really didn't do nothing to the guy because she already had her life force taken and she was already weakened. Now I found it funny how they plugged in a little simple line, how the dude was like, "Come on, little chick magnet, let me grab onto you and stuff." Because I found it interesting. I'm like, oh, I wonder if the people who were so upset about the Nejire body change or whatever, who was upset about her body, is going to say something about this. Hopefully, you guys don't be quiet because even she was like, "Ew, yeah," but whatever. It then cuts back to where we're currently at and how they got down to the building. And that was because our good old pal Toga transformed into Deku and basically made them throw him down right into the area where they were fighting. Um, and I'm guessing the League of Villains had some plan. There was a clone of the dude who compress. I think it was the name Compress. There was a clone of that guy. They were like, I guess, to do some plan to take out. I think something about the Hasaikai. It didn't end up working for those guys. So obviously they're probably gonna scurry after next week's episode and get away. There's really nothing else to say about this plot point, really. I don't think even Denzel here can talk much about it. It was cool to get more of an understanding what I get the big muscular dude's quirk was, and even get Nezra's because for the longest time we didn't even know what her power was. Anything you got to say about this?
Mm, I, I think what caught me most of this episode is like you pointed out a long time ago, like how you predicted Dega's going to use 100% of his power. That's
Mm.
that's that's pretty that's pretty much mind blown. I know we haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm just saying that's what sticks out to me the most right now.
So I guess it can continue. Anyways, basically, they fall down. Deku tells them, "Look after Night Eye, while I handle, Overhaul." And basically, Chisaki Overhaul basically puts this pillar up. It throws Irita in the air and makes her land on this pillar. Then this is when we get the key backstory for Chisaki that we didn't even get. We only got snippets of it, basically, and we also get the real backstory of Eri. And basically, Overhaul, all he was supposed to do is really, or basically what happened is this. Um, there was a part where Eri's horn starts to light up on her head. And she basically, and it cuts to the flashback. Basically, the old boss tells Chisaki about Eri's backstory, the fact that, her parents got into an argument, the father left, or something like that, because of the daughter, because he called the daughter a curse because of her quirk power. And basically, the thing is, when she touches somebody, it basically, in other words, rewinds it back in time. So basically, it makes it go poof or disappears, or essentially, I guess to say, kills you. reverses whatever effect that previously happened. In the case of what she did to Chisaki, when she touched Chisaki, it reversed the fact that he had the 4 arms gone. In the case of Deku, it made him be able to use 100% at a basis because she's constantly healing his injuries. Um, so anyways, we get the backstory, and basically she does that. I think she touches her mom, and it makes the mom go away. So the reason why you see in the ending why there's just clothes, or it looked like Cell came in and absorbed her, and there's just clothes there, is because Eri kind of did that. So basically, is there something?
That's that. I'm just saying that's pretty sad. It's just pretty
Yeah,
sad.
yeah. So in other words, she kind of lost her parents. Her grandpa took her in and basically told Overhaul, "Look, I just need you to see what's the reason behind her powers and stuff like that." So then we get a cuts where you see that he's making incision cuts, and it's one of the most disturbing scenes in the episode where he's just making incision cuts, guy cutting through her legs, her arms, and when they cut through the legs, they show the bandages being wrapped on and everything, and then Overall sees like, oh, how's it doing? How her body's just basically rewinding and fixing itself, and they showed it through her leg, and he's like, interesting, and basically goes into a whole the flashback scenes with Overhaul and the boss is basically Overhaul gets the idea to use Eri for his quirk erasing thing, which is terrible. And if you not had hated, Chisaki or Overhaul already, you're gonna hate him so much that you actually feel happy that he gets rightly his right just due in this episode. Um, and later in the flashback scenes, he tells the former boss his plans to use Eri. And the boss, like any respectful grandfather would, he was like, "No, you're not going to touch my granddaughter like that. Basically, you're not going to do that. If you're going to do that, you might as well get out of my Saikai and leave." And basically, Overhaul, he's doing this to try to get the Hasaikai to be big and popular and, something off the street where people fear again. But it looks like you're doing it for your own goal. Um, the backstory concludes from the aspect of he basically uses his powers on him. He probably breaks him. Now, they don't show him killing him, but I guarantee you he broke him apart, reformed him, but put him in a state to where he cannot wake up. And he said before he walked out of the room, um, when I finish my plans, I'll fix you up again and you'll be back to normal. And it, the dude was, if that did not just show, like, he literally just did all of this because he felt like he wanted to do it, just really for his own selfish reasons. It's not even for the fact that he wanted the Hasaikai to do it for him, or he did it for the Hasaikai. He did this for his own selfish reasons. And he got his right just due in this episode. Your thoughts on the flashback?
Ooh, so much for that guy waking up and then giving Overhaul a piece of his mind. It turns out Overhaul is the reason why he was put in a coma. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's put in some comatose state. The heroes may find him. They probably will next week's episode because I think it's a pretty much done conclusion that next week's episode is the aftermath of the fight. But you know,
We're going to the
it's just a very sad backstory for, I guess for an aspect of Eri and the family, because this dude really just kind of ruined it. And it was crazy. So anyways, going back to the action, because this is just nonstop action after the Ryuku and the others just pop in. So Eri rewinds the fact that she kicks out the other guy from, Overhaul's body. And basically we get one of the most emotional scene, if not the most emotional scene of this episode. Was when she was basically monologuing inside herself about, all the heroes giving up their own lives to save her. And basically that's when she comes to the conclusion. She's like, I want to be saved. And it kind of, well, I can't say it because you're a One Piece guy, but you're not far enough into the One Piece, but um
It's One Piece.
but you know she sees Deku, and Deku's climbing, and they play this crazy track, like this very emotional track. I think there was like an English like voice singing over this track, and it's like some kind of opera, sad music. And I was like, "What is this track right now?" Um, and it's just Deku jumping from or jumping like he's like Eri-chan, and she looks down at him. She's like, "Should I be saved?" And she eventually sees that. She jumps down to Deku, and then Deku catches her, and that was one of the most empowering scenes of this episode. Your thoughts, Denzel?
I agree. That's one of the most. I almost shed tears. Almost.
And just
Please, Jim. Please, Jim.
and the crazy thing is where you can almost shed the tear is when Deku finally caught her, and he was always telling her, he's like, "I'm not gonna let you go this time," and it's like, damn it, don't make me cry right now. And then because he replays basically from the first time he just let her go, and he's like, "I'm gonna make sure I hold on to you forever and not let you go this time till this guy's basically defeated for good." And that was a very emotional scene. And then Shisaki is like, "Give Harry back!" And he's just lost his mind at this point. He's just lost his mind. Deku kicks some rocks away. He gets up to the point where Shisaki's at. It looks like Shisaki's gonna do something that literally kills him. And I think there's a part where he was still conscious to an aspect after the beating he took. He's basically telling Ochako, like, basically, "I'm seeing the future. Deku's gonna die."
Yeah, that's what I mentioned in the last episode. Like he predicted that Deku was gonna die, and that one thing he predicted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's and seeing this pretty much confirms that he actually saw it, because it was hard for me to see, but that pretty much sealed it.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit at I know the tail end because I do want to talk about he did see. I would say it's like an apparent, like an alternate future of what ifs, almost like when Dr. Stone looked into the future 3 something times, 3 million times, and saw only one outcome. It was something like that. But only the fact where he sees it, he thinks that's going to be the final cut. So anyways, Deku does this. So anyways, not overall, it looks like he's going in for the kill. Deku does this one thing where he gets like super heated, and then I think he wins. He goes in for a kick, just one kick. This dude flushes way out to the top. He's literally in the sky, and he realizes like, how the hell did I get here? And then he's like, wait, did I use like 100% of my power? And then he realizes that, but my leg should be broken. But then that's when he realizes that, wait, Eri is the one that healed me.
Mm-hmm.
So then this is where things just get from crazy to worse. And this is where I was laying in my bed. I was just laying down watching the episode with my hands behind my back. This is when things get crazy. And this is what made me get up and start just sitting and watching up this episode. So overall, he gets up. I don't know how he tanked a freaking all for one shoot style kick. Okay, he gets up. He would fix his arm. I thought he would fix his little side because there was a little blood on his side. Even there was blood on the back of his jacket. He basically goes over to that big guy at the start of the episode. He basically touches him, and at first I'm like, wait, is he just killing his old men and turning into dust or blood dust or something like that? He does that to every one of the other guys that are in the area. Only to realize after Deku has realized, or when not is basically monologuing saying he's not coming for us yet. When he wins and beats Deku, he will, which didn't happen. But then we see this like spider thing crawl out of the freaking underground basement and crawl to them. I was like, wait, what is this? I was like, oh hell no. This guy comes up, and all of a sudden Deku lands because that's when he realizes, like, wait, my body's not broken. I shouldn't even be standing. That's when he realized. Now, Then we see Overhaul in some kind of Final Fantasy, some kind of Resident Evil looking type of boss, you know. Um,
That's weird. That's
if
weird.
not, well, if really, that looks like something. The thing he was in this episode looked like was something from Resident Evil, like legit, one of those demon-like characters. Um,
Also from Code Vein, I must say, because it's similar to one of those monsters, like with multiple arms.
so this guy looks like some kind of muscular, nasty, really creature, spider thing. I don't know. And this is when he reveals to Deku about Eri's powers and how her powers is a quirk. But Deku lets go of Eri before he shows up. And the thing that Eri, how the rewinding thing eventually like takes a toll on your body after a while, or takes a toll on somebody, Deku starts to feel that pain, and he's like, "Oh my goodness!" And eventually, Overall tries to capture her. He eventually, luckily, gets her, grabs her, saves her. He realizes what she's doing, and when Overall basically rewinds, when Overall tells him that her power's rewinding and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, okay. Now I remember. Now I heard like she had some kind of healing powers. I was like, wait, so does she have a healing power or not? But it seems like she doesn't. It just rewinds things back to what it used to be. Um, so basically, Deku realizes that he gets, because she had Mirio's cape with him, a torn piece of Mirio's cape. He ties the cape around his body, has her on his back, and he asks Eri, "Can you assist? I need your help. I need your quirk to help me in this fight." Because this is when he realizes he needs to use 100% of his power. Otherwise, he's going to lose.
Mhm.
He used the 100. He basically, it shows that Eri's just crying. She basically doesn't say yes, so obviously she's going to be assisting him this fight. And also, Deku does realize the fact that what Eri's doing is basically similar to what he used to do way back in the first and second, in the first and second, the first and the first half of the season two, was when he would just use his quirk without knowing to control it better. This
Mhm.
is what Eri was doing. She was basically just using it off her own really will to basically assist Deku. Again, that's why we got the infinite 100%. She doesn't know how to control the power to, I would say, not be able to have people rewind so far that they basically go poof, and essentially. Um, so, anyways, Deku does one of the most literally badass, things when he says one for all, full counting, 100%. I'm sorry, I'm getting hyped. But this thing was hyped. He started.
The way his hair is up, oh my god, and glowing. Oh, I love that design. Okay, go on.
Oh, yeah. His hair sticks up like he's a Super Saiyan, just with green hair. Um, his skin gets a little bit more like reddish color, mild color.
Mhm.
So while the lighting up. And another thing is the lightning strikes, they're gone. They're 100% gone. You don't see any lightning strikes. You see like little frickles of the lightning, but it's gone because technically he's 100% using his power. It's not where, you know, he's just using like say 20%. Yes, he's not using the full power at that time. He's using the full power. He powers up. And I'm like, this guy is crazy. He goes in for the first shot. He lands it. And oh my goodness, the fight goes insane. We do get some of the flashback moments during this fight too, but mostly on Overhaul side. And, there was just there I can't say. So Overhaul is basically redoing his body all over. He's going in for punches, but Deku is so fast at this point. Deku at 100% is fast and lightning fast. Um, he's just punching and kicking. His basically Overhaul's attacks, and it's just destroying them.
Mhm.
And then there was just this one scene. This one scene, I swear. It looked like a Pokemon close combat animation. Oh my goodness. The the barrage of punches, strikes that Deku did, that was almost like Gum Gum Gatling, the close combat look-alike in Pokemon. You know, a Jotaro reference. Um, all of a sudden, Overhaul looks up. There is how many punches I don't even know. I was like, you're joking right now. I'm like, the punches start coming down. I was like, oh my God. And it's just hitting Overhaul's body. He's breaking apart literally one by one. And he only has his arm left. And that's when you get the iconic scene when Deku's like about to punch him. The screen like literally turns to black and you see his eyes. And then when they go in for the face, you see his eyes are determined to beat this guy's you know what. He pushes him to the ground. He knocks off his mask, albeit, and he sends him down for the count. Deku lands. That's when Night Eye sees this. And he's like telling Ochako, who's right next to him, he's like, the future where Deku loses and Overhaul wins, it's no more. And they cut away. It goes to a black and white screen, and it cuts away, and it shows him. And he actually, before it cuts out, he smiles at the last second, which I think you can say without a just. That was like the acknowledgement of saying that, okay, All Might, I was wrong. You were right. He is better than I thought he was. And essentially, the episode ends off with a knocked out Overhaul with his mask off. Now, with his mask off, he just has a regular mouth. So I thought he would have some kind of messed up face because they were hiding it. I'm like, oh, they must be hiding it for a reason. He must have some kind of messed up ugly face or ugly mouth or something. No, he just has a generic mouth. I was like, well, was he wearing the little thing before he wore the big? Was that like some kind of like doctor's thing? Maybe he had some kind of disease or something.
I've been knowing that he just has a normal mouth.
He
Honestly.
must he must have a disease because he was always talking about diseases and stuff like that. He must have like some kind of respiratory disease that he can't, have people inhaling out of. So yeah, and then it cuts back to Deku one more time. He looks like he still wants to fight because he wants to make sure he's down for the count for good. And episode ends. And that was it. Next week is basically going to be the aftermath, where they basically arrest all the Hasaikai members, and I'm guessing looking over at Night Eye, which I believe he's going to officially die next week. And at the last second, they show. Oh, they also do save Aizawa because Aizawa was in the next episode trailer. I'm sorry if you're getting spoiled for that. Um, and at the end of the next episode preview, they do show All Might in, I guess, the medical room. And he looks back as Deku's walking in. So obviously, he's going to get word of what Deku did. And like any proud papa would, he's going to probably be excited for him. I can't wait to see what and when Class 1A freaking hears about this feat that Deku did because, one, Bakugo's going to be pissed. I'll say that.
Will they hear about it? Are they gonna find out? Are they gonna pull off something like the police finds out and
I think this is gonna get out because the news sets will get out. The news will obviously report on this incident. Because especially with the aftermath out of this, they're gonna be like, well, if Night Eye does die, how did he die? They're going to be asking all these questions and stuff. And obviously, they're going to go to UA to get take from the big three and the other heroes, including Deku. I won't be shocked if the news people don't show up next week. And if it's on the, and let's be real, if the Kirishima stuff was on the news and, if that stuff was on the news, the Deku stuff doing what he was going to be on the news because, geez, that was insane. I can't wait to see the Class 1A, reaction to that because I think people like Ida, they're gonna be really happy for Deku. Ochaka's probably gonna be really happy for Deku when she gets that moment when they talk. And I can't wait to see Miro's reaction. That's the one thing I can't wait to see. Miro's reaction to what Deku did.
and
Even though even though he didn't see it, what's gonna be reaction like? I guess you one up me this time. So, I guess to get back to you, what are your thoughts on that entire fight sequence that I just talked about? Denzel.
Uh, I I'm just like begging for Deku to kick Chisaki's butt all this time, and because right now Chisaki was going like complete cycle, like why can't anyone understand?
Oh yeah, he was losing his mind the last like 3 episodes. He started to lose his mind once Mary started beating him up.
And once Deku finally got the final blow and stands there, and that's when
Yeah,
honestly, I have no words. I have no words. Just
yeah, that's it. That's it. I know I put a tweet saying "My hero, effing academia," all in caps, with the emoji that had the smoke coming out of his nose, like blowing his nose out. And then I put hashtag Deku because that's the thing that's trending like worldwide right now. Um, this episode, I can see why people were telling, why people who read the manga were telling the anime only, like, if you guys weren't going to be hyped now, next week is going to get you hyped. And the crazy thing is this. This is only what he's doing now. I don't even know what he's going to be doing in the next future arcs. And that's why I'm going to be excited to read the manga in preparation for the movie. Which even now entices me to be like, well, if he can do this now, just wait till what he can do in the movie.
um,
So honestly, I think I'm about to just start reading the manga now, catching up, and really see what the heck's going on. Um, if you didn't see yesterday's video, we talked more about the movie and we talked more about the movie's release date and stuff like that. But man, it was one hell of an episode. Also, I guess before we end this thing, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Night Eye situation, and I guess a little bit about the Deku 100% stuff. For the Night Eye thing, he said time and time again, like, I saw this future, this thing. Obviously, this goes to show that his future is technically like just a hypothesis. You can get it, he can get it just for what could happen. But I think the thing when he looks into the future is it's just a like one outcome of a certain possibility. If that ends up eventually coming because, you know, so far, All Might has not died to this devastating villain, albeit we don't know who it is he died to because Naya never revealed who he died to. Um, and he said like almost 3 different times in not only last week's episode, but this week's episode, how he said Deku was going to die. Deku didn't change. Deku didn't die at all. He changed the future. Even Ochako said he will change the future. The future can change. And it's funny because it's like, I guess it's like something mini that, what Dragon Ball did with the Android saga, how Trunks came back in time and changed the outcome of, the the timeline we all love and know for Dragon Ball. It was something similar to that. And then another thing I found interesting, which I was looking on Twitter, and one person made this tweet out, which was actually a pretty smart tweet. And it said this. It basically said this. Basically, it was like one tweet said Eri would leave with Overhaul if not for Deku being there. Deku would have lost to Shisaki and gotten killed if not for Eri's help.
mm-hmm.
And the dynamic is basically that, Deku and Eri, in a sense, were basically two connected people that were key to the conclusion we're getting right now. If not one had helped each other out in certain ways, things go completely different. And I'm just gonna say this: that's beautiful storytelling, Horikoshi. That's beautiful storytelling. To have two characters that technically you don't see them connected, but by the end of this episode, and even the manga chapter, after the fight's over, you can see that Deku and Eri were connected in this one way. That if one just went away from the other one, nothing happens and everything changes. And then I guess the last point, which is talking about Deku's 100%. Deku, 100%, one for all.
Level?
I,
Like
he might even be stronger than All Might.
that would be a little bit of a stretch, I think. But
Um,
really? You think so?
the potential, when we just saw one time of him using, you know, one for all, 100%, is insane. And come to think about it, when he has his leg power too, that gives him a whole new dynamic. So we can't just and this is one of the things I predicted. When he finally masters 100% one for all, he's gonna use a combination of punches and kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've heard he gets certain more power ups and stuff like that later down in the road, which I guess can say, which I'm just saying he might be stronger than All Might. If you want to put in the comment section, at this time he's not stronger. He couldn't be stronger than All Might in his prime. You know, it's crazy to see, because I was like, well, darn, this guy is literally almost this guy at 100% of his power is legit a threat, and he's unstoppable. The only one that could probably combat 100% one for all user is really, which has been proven, is All for One. Now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, Shirachi will be the person to be the one that counters Deku later. But when I saw this, I was like, whoever he fought in the past, or whoever made an inclusion or fought, I would only say the only one that could probably give him problems is maybe Aizawa, if he's able to, look at him quickly before Deku makes a strike. But what I saw from this is like, this dude's stronger than all the heroes that were presented to us, with the exception of a few. Maybe the more experienced ones, because they have better combat experience, because Deku still does not have good combat experience. But with his 100%, he is up there in terms of strongest characters, if not the strongest character in My Hero Academia. And he showed why he is legit. And he if he had used this power against Muriel way back in the first fight in season 3 they had, he probably would have beaten Muriel.
Mm-hmm.
And it just is great to see that this character still has time to grow. Albeit this dude he only used this because of Eri. He has not mastered it fully yet. When he masters it, which I think is probably at the end of the show, or at the end of the anime's run, or really the end of the manga's run, really, we're gonna see why he says he will be going down as the greatest hero. And it also goes to show that I think when he finally masters, he won't need his gauntlet things anymore, because when he went on 100%, the gauntlet's just literally just the one gauntlet on, I believe, his right arm just literally ripped to shreds. So it's like, well, then he doesn't need it anymore. Really, it would just be his aesthetic thing. Um, so it was cool to see. It was really cool to see, and this episode, hands down, was one of the best episodes, if not the best episode of My Hero Academia, because the animation, gorgeous, the storytelling, amazing, the fight. Like I said, it might, right now, in terms of fight, it's like, I think it's tied, but I think this fight's tied between the All for One versus All Might fight. That's how good this fight was. And I can't wait to continue seeing more. Now, obviously, I'm going to be seeing the aftermath in the manga, but for you guys who are anime onlys, you'll be seeing next week. Um, so it was a very good episode. I really said my thoughts. Denzel, before we close this video off, your thoughts, because this video is like 40 minutes long, because it goes to show how good this episode was.
Like I said, I have no words to say how shocked I am from seeing 100% Deku and how he punched Overhaul. And like I never really thought of that before when you said like Deku and Eri belong to one another. Like like it's
Mm-hmm.
that's that's actually kind of neat actually. So
Yeah. They'll probably I think they might put like her in an orphanage to make sure where she'll have a new family, unless they revive the grandfather, and he's like, well, I'm just gonna stop doing my Hasaikai things and I'll just watch after her. But we'll see where it goes next week. We'll see where her story goes because Deku did what he said he was gonna do. He was gonna save her, and this is the first. Well, this is technically the first person Deku really legit saved, and this is the first fight he officially has won all by himself. Even though technically he did that against Muscular, but um, the first really one-on-one fight he's had in a final fight standing where he gets the W, and it's great to see. And it's going to be great to see where Deku grows from this moment. I definitely, like I said, can't wait for the Class 1A reaction to his win over Overhaul and what he did to save Eri. I can't wait to see, All Might, because you already know they're going to have a scene later down, and it's going to be a very emotional scene. How he probably says he's really proud of him. Um, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes now, because really the main plot of this season is done. Usually they usually, you know, by episode 15 there'll probably be another new plot, another new main point. We'll see that maybe episode 15 because next week is episode 14. And that's when the back half of the season really is going to be about the second side plot or the second main plot. So it's going to be interesting to see where the next main plot is going to be now. Is it going to be where we focus on the other Class 1A students? Because technically Deku came in, did his job, and that main plot has closed up. It's done. And I don't think the animators and the creators want to spend so much time on the aftermaths of certain characters and stuff like that. I guess one more thing before, I know I said this so many times, but I wonder, will Mirio get his quirk back thanks to Aries' rewinding powers? That's the question.
hmm. Wait, didn't they find out something about like another drug that can restore one's quirk? Or
That's the thing. Aries could be the person that can restore the quirk, his quirk power, probably. Well, we'll just have to find out maybe next week. Maybe they restore his quirk next week. Maybe she does that. Obviously, the government's probably gonna obviously they're gonna probably take her away and, like I said, maybe put her in an orphanage, or make sure she's like in good care or something like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, somewhere where she can't be used like Overhaul used her. And obviously, they're gonna put Overhaul and lock him up for good, as well as his other Saikai members. But other than that, yeah. So that's really it. We talked about this episode for 43 minutes at least. So, anyways, it's Camp for 15. We're gonna get out of here. It's Camp for 15, the Red Wolf. If you like this video, leave a like. Um, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content. Since I'll be reading the chapters, um, I don't think I'll do. I don't know if I don't think I'll do chapter reviews. On those, I think I'll just do the same stick I've been doing, just reviewing the episodes. But yeah, and also if you want to hit that's that comment section and talk about your thoughts on this episode and how cool you thought Deku was and how cool you thought the fight was and stuff like that, please do. And again, do not post at this moment. Do not post future spoilers for anything pertaining later down in the manga. I technically still haven't read it. I'm going to start reading it. But yeah. Other than that, that's all I gotta say. Also, subscribe to Denzel's channel, TheRedWolf. Um, you can tell him what you do. I think you just do gameplays, really.
For fun, pretty much. Nothing really. I'm kind of scatterbrained when it comes to it. But yeah,
Yeah. So really, that's all I gotta say for this, week's episode of My Hero Academia. Then this was the week I was really excited for, and I was happy for, and I was okay. Um, all right, but this is the week where this is the last day here. I'm here in California before I head back to school, and I was like, well, There was only one way to end it on a good note, and that was My Hero Academia, and they did that. I can't wait to see where My Hero Academia goes because this episode justified why My Hero Academia right now is my favorite anime as of this moment that I'm watching it. And there's a lot of good animes, but after this episode, it's without a doubt this anime is my favorite. I'm glad to have gotten into it only like I think a year or two ago, but yeah. So other than that, we're gonna get out of here. We've been here long enough, and we want you guys to have fun on your Saturdays. So till then, we're gonna catch you on the next video whenever we collaborate, which will be whenever soon, you know, whatever. But we'll see you guys on the next episode. I'll see you guys later today too, because I'll be uploading another video regarding the Chicago Bears if you're sports content, if you're sports fans too. So other than that, I said it enough. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a great day. Peace and go beyond plus ultra.